Hello everyone, welcome to my channel excelwithroma. Today we are going to discuss about one of the beautiful poem by Robertfrost, and the name of the poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Have you ever felt the urge to pause everything and just be yourself, or enjoy the cool wind, soothing rain, or feel the leaves in the forest, or smell the nature, or just want to give up everything and disappear? Robert Frost turned that feeling into a masterpiece. To discover the deep meaning of this short poem, yet very powerful, was till the end. Can you imagine? Robert Frost won the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for poetry 4 times. In 1924 for New Hampshire, a poem with notes and grace, and in 1931 for collected poems, in 1937 for the Rains, and finally in the year 1943 for A Witness Tree. Although he is an American poet, first began his literary career from England. He published his first book and met other poets like Ezra Pound, a famous images poet who helped promote his work. Although he didn't finish his college himself, Frost became a very popular teacher and lecturer at universities like Howard, Amherst, and Dartmouth. It is said that he published less poetry but talked more about it. After the completion of New Hampshire poem Whole Night, he saw snow outside, and this poem came to him almost fully composed. He wrote it down and forgot. Later, he realized the power of this poem and published it in 1923, a year after its composition. And miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. These lines are notable all over the worldwide and frequently used to express incomplete duties and journeys of life in spite of tiredness or hardship. Through the use of simple day-to-day language, Robert Frost is able to convey the deepest message of universal truth of the pull between desire and duty and the journey of life. So before we dive into the poem, let's learn about some difficult words used in this poem. The first word is woods. It means forest. Queer means strange. Swift means to move something very slowly and softly. Next one is downflake. It means a soft feather-like piece of snow. Farmhouse, a building attached to the farm nearby agriculture area. Before we dive into the summary and deeper analysis of this poem, let me recite this poem. The first stanza, stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. The speaker is a traveler. He is traveling with his little horse. The setting of the poem is a dark, snowy evening. Speaker is standing between a frozen lake and woods. The traveler takes a pause by the woods, enchanted by its aesthetic beauty. He cannot take off his eyes and is unable to leave the place without absorbing the evening beauty posed by the snowy woods. He thinks, not 100% sure though, he is familiar with the owner of the woods who lives in the village. The speaker is quite sure that the owner will not see him watching the ultimate beauty of the forest covered by the snow. This opening verse establishes a central conflict of the poem, the tension between nature's beauty and social obligations. The solitude he enjoys there establishes the romantic theme of loving and being very close to nature. The smoothness of the lines without any obstruction mirrors the serenity and calmness of the woods hold on that evening with the soft falling snow. His feelings are very emotive. The expressions is spontaneous and simple. The enchanting woods, snow-covered trees, frozen lakes, and the tranquility tempt the speaker to stop and stay. Representing the pull of giving up the worldly responsibilities, snow refers here to the purity, quietness, cold, and isolation. It highlights the tranquility and the isolation of the woods and add to the tempting sense of peace. Let's go to the second stanza. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmer's near. Between the woods and the frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. This verse opens with the perspective of the horse presented by the speaker here. The little horse and his master perhaps used to stop by the house to rest in the evening. This is what all the travelers do. But that day, traveler had stopped by the woods. That's too on a very snowy evening, and no house or farmhouse was nearby. The horse was startled and must have thought that his master must have gone crazy for stopping here. Moreover, the lake beside them was frozen and it was the darkest evening. The speaker is lonely with his horse in the peaceful snowy environment. This solitude being enjoyed by the speaker is not understood or cannot be enjoyed by the horse. The little horse metaphorically stands for human rationality, conscience or responsibility. The conscience is asking for the reason for stopping there. Since the rational part of the speaker's mind does not see any particular use or purpose of the action, it was bewildered, confused. So it thinks it is quite strange to stop by the woods and frozen lake at such a snowy hour. The horse, the rational part of our mind, sees the reasons for not stopping there. The evening, that too darkest, it's snowy, the lake beside them is frozen, there is no farmhouse near. It gently reminds him that stopping here is uncommon and advises him to return to duty. In this verse, in the conflict between desire and duty, dream and rationality, the rationality or our consciousness is speaking aloud to control our dream, wish, and the emotions. Third stanza, recitation time. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is a mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Out of confusion and curiosity, the horse shakes its harness bells, as if questioning the pause. He was curious why the traveler stops there, which is rare action he ever does. The speaker is listening to the harness bell shake. The horse has just given and notes the contrast between the stillness of the woods and the gentle sound of the bells and the wind. In this stanza, the speaker describes a moment of stillness and quiet beauty in the snowy forest, which he is enjoying. However, he is disturbed by his own little horse. The shaking of its harness bell seems to ask, why have we stopped here? Is something wrong? The signals breaks the deep silence. The speaker is awakened by his love to the nature or escape from the reality and duty by the rationality or conscience represented by the horse and his jingling sound of the harness bell. The speaker is listening to the silence of the nature, the easy wind, and falling of snow, releasing the ultimate beautiful silence, quietness, calmness, which the traveler is observing, listening, enjoying, and submerging himself in the nature. The contrasting sounds of the jingle of the bells and the sound of soft wind and the gentle fall of snowflakes represent the vastness between noisy human activity and peaceful nature. The jingle can be a reminder to return to the duty and give up escapism, a call for duty. The rationality urges us to listen to him. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The speaker presents the beauty of the woods as pleasant, dark, and deep, and feels irresistible pull to their peacefulness. However, he reminds himself that he has many responsibilities and duties to fulfill. Though he has a strong urge to stay, watch and lose in the solitude of nature's beauty, he cannot stay and rest because he still has a long journey ahead, both in life and in his work, before he can finally rest. This stanza carries the central theme of the poem, the pull between desire and duty, rest and responsibility. This verse is embedded with deep, meaningful symbols. Woods is symbolically a journey of life, which is full of love, excitement, enticement, and yet very dark and deep. Dark here symbolically suggests pain, suffering, death, and deep refers to mysteries of life. Life is uncertain and everything is unpredictable and mysterious until it is revealed. So, the journey of a life is a ride of a roller coaster, full of excitements, solitude, fear, and uncertainties as well. In the next line, promises means duties, responsibilities, and a speaker has to accomplish. Miles stands here for the distance one has to take during the journey of life. And finally, sleep metaphorically means death, the ultimate rest. Though life is beautiful and at certain stages of life, we may discard the duties and enjoy forgetting everything, even our roles and responsibilities. However, we need to understand that before our death, we are assigned with certain duties towards our family, our society, and nation as a whole, which we have to fulfill before our death. The poem gently yet very powerfully reminds us our responsibilities that we need to complete. When people try to escape from their duties, this poem is a powerful call for the action and carry on the duties assigned. The repetition of the final line, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep, reinforces the speaker's reminder to himself to emphasize on the journey he has to take before his death. It also highlights the importance of inner strength and decision making. Let's dive into some deeper analysis. Nature versus duty. Nature is so tempting here, calling us to leave everything, even the worldly duties, and inspire us to pause, take rest, relax, immerse in the nature, lost in tranquility and escape from all worldly things. However, the speaker is found way more powerful than the tempting nature because he reminds himself of the promises to keep, a truly powerful representation of the tussle between desire and duty. Tranquil or peaceful nature. Frost captures the quiet, calm beauty of a snowy evening in the wood. The dark evening with the snow falling on the leaves of tree creates a perfect enchanting nature. It evokes a soothing mood and shows how much calming effect nature can have on human soul. Journey of life and responsibility. The final repeated line, and the miles to go before I sleep, is overloaded with deep meaning. At the first glance, it refers to the literal journey of the speaker that he has to resume. But an allegorical level, it can represent life's journey, with sleep indicating either rest or death. The concept of fulfilling one's duty before they take final rest or die is emphasized in this concluding line. Escapism. A subtle theme of escapism is also found in this poem. The speaker wants to run away from his worldly duties and he almost falls into the tempting beauty of life and lives in nature. He has a strong urge to go for the solitude of life or the beauty of life, just to avoid and escape from worldly responsibilities he has. So next time, if you feel like stopping or giving up, remember, it is perfectly okay to rest, to pause, but never forget to continue and keep moving. Thanks for watching. Rest if you need, but do not stop. One step at a time.